Hi everyone, welcome back to Abby's Natter and Chatter, where we explore the reality of living with a disability or chronic illness. I will be looking down at the story, so sorry for not looking at you guys. Today's story time comes from Kitty. Kitty isn't the author's real name, as she said she'd rather use her nickname for this one. Kitty's current diagnoses are autoinflammatory disorder, HLH and MAS complication, 2 times that cause damage to the bone marrow, Sjogren's syndrome, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and POTS. Kitty became disabled just before her 22nd birthday as a result of a rare complication from a rare undiagnosed condition. She left the hospital in a wheelchair and also lost all of her hair shortly after. She was living in the city with Dean, her abusive ex, who was very happy about her condition because he could more easily abuse her. When she was in the city, she met a lot of people, but they didn't try to talk to Kitty, they would talk to Dee instead. They would say things like, "How does she feel today?" while she was sat right in front of them. Fast forward 6 months and she left Dee. She was finally happy again, but she had to go back into hospital again with the same issues as before. While Kitty was in the smoking area, she met a young woman that she had seen last time. I'll call her Maggie since we don't know her name. They chatted for a bit and exchanged numbers as they both happened to be in the same building. That night, Kitty couldn't sleep because of the medication she was on. So Kitty messaged her asking if she was awake, and Maggie said, "Yes, I can't sleep either." The hospital allowed them to come and go as they pleased, as long as they didn't leave the hospital grounds. So they met for a cigarette, Kitty in her wheelchair and Maggie with her roller top. They sat there for hours in the middle of the night, smoking, laughing and eating gummy bears. That's how Kitty met her best friend and bridesmaid. She also met her now husband because of her chronic illness and disability. Kitty couldn't leave the house, so she started gaming with a friend. The friend said she had a group of people that she's always playing with and that Kitty should join them. A few weeks later, they all met and Kitty said he was there. A cute young man who didn't dare speak to her because he thought she was too pretty for him, who called him Rick. Kitty said she was in her wheelchair with a bald head and a big belly due to water issues, and he thought she was way out of his league. However, she talked to him and noticed that they both liked gaming, anime, the same music, same taste in food, and both enjoyed similar aesthetics. This year marks their 6th anniversary and they've been through a lot together. They'd been together 1 month when Kitty went through a month of medical rehabilitation to gain her independence back. 2 months when she had to go into the hospital again, where he saw her screaming in pain and drugged up to the eyeballs. 3 months when the doctors said they didn't know if she would make it. 6 months when they told her she would have chronic pain for the rest of her life. 1 year when they finally ended their long-distance relationship and moved in together. They've been through a lot together, and Kitty said that it's made their relationship very special, and that their way of communicating with each other is completely different. Rick knows her better than anybody else, and to him, she's not different. Sure, they love and fight, but that is always independent from Kitty's condition. Fights are never about her health and never about his support. Even in the middle of a fight, they'll stop arguing while she asks for his help. Then he will gently help her while they continue their argument. For Rick, this is never up for debate. No matter if they're cuddling or arguing, he will always support her. Kitty loves to make food for Rick, even when she can't eat it herself sometimes. When she got sick, Kitty felt that she'd lost everything. She had to move back in with her parents again. After she ended her relationship with Dee, the abusive ex, he kept the dog. She couldn't work for 2 years. She'd lost all her hair and also her ability to walk. Kitty has built a new life from scratch, and she's also met so many people that she loves dearly, who she would have never met if all that never happened. Sure, it's hard sometimes. She's immunochaotic, struggles with inflammation everywhere. Her joints hurt and dislocate. She can't tolerate heat, is allergic to the cold, she has chronic pain, and her chronic illness slowly destroys important parts of her body. and causes irreversible bone damage. Some days she might be able to go for a walk, but others she can barely get out of bed for a few minutes. But Kitty says that the worst part of all of this is the ableism. When people show her she's less than them, when they mock her for using a cane or accuse her of faking when she uses a wheelchair but her legs are moving. When she goes to the same butchers every week and they don't notice her beautiful clothes and when she dresses up, but instead ask her about her cane and her mask 3 times in 1 month. When medical staff tell her she's lazy because she can't physically do certain things. When friends don't want to be friends with her anymore because she's too disabled and she's not allowed to be happier than them. She could continue the list for hours. Kitty goes on to say that the world is not inclusive and the way a large portion of disabled people think about us is disgusting. Ableism is real and it's devastating, so is my condition. But in stark contrast to our conditions, ableism is avoidable. There is not a single person on this planet that could cure her disability, but every single person can be anti-ableist and make the world a better place. So now I want to read you something that Kitty said to me in a message. I'm going to directly quote what she said because I think it's still important to paraphrase. She said, "Actually, I struggled a lot with identifying as disabled. It took about 2 years to accept it and to say I am disabled. Not because I hated who I became and what I was going through, but because of what society made of and thought about being disabled. Society treats disability as something terrible and horrible, the worst thing that can happen to a person and kind of like an insult. I've often heard, but you're not really disabled, or don't ever think about calling yourself disabled. This made the whole process so much harder for me. After I accepted myself as disabled, everything became so much easier. And I think becoming disabled and going through this whole thing made me a better person. More kind, more compassionate, more patient, and laid back, not only with others, but also myself. Thank you, Kitty, for sharing your story with us. I hope I did you proud, and I would really like to say you're such an amazing human being, and I would really like to be friends. So thank you again, and thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!